What's up, beautiful babies? Week two matchups and predictions. Picks are in the Discord. We did rankings last video. That's in the Discord. You can go check that out. Let's go straight to the matchups. First matchup is Jason versus myself. We're both 1-0. Jason had the highest score of week one. Thanks to Josh Allen, got him like 40 points. He's got Josh Allen versus the Jets, at the Jets, I should say. Ashton Jeanty versus the Chargers. Devon Achane versus New England. Tyreek Hill versus New England. Deebo Samuel at Green Bay. Dalton Kincaid at the Jets. Cortland Sutton at Indy. Juwan Jennings at New Orleans. Questionable. Eagles D at Kansas City. I have the one, the only, Daniel Jones at quarterback versus Denver. Bucky Irving at Houston, Omarion Hampton at Las Vegas, Jamar Chase versus Jacksonville, Ricky Pearsall at New Orleans, Tucker Kraft versus Washington, Teterora McMillan, T-Mac at Arizona, Stephon Diggs at Miami, and the Niners defense at New Orleans. Now, Jason did do something on the waivers. He probably didn't catch this, but he did pick up a backup quarterback. Why did he pick up a backup quarterback when he has Josh Allen? You'd say, well, my quarterback, Brock Purdy's hurt, doubtful, not going to play. So a little strategery there to try to stop me, but that's okay because he forgot about Daniel Jones. I just put up 30 points whenever I feel like it. Daniel Jones. Don't care about no Broncos D. I'm going with myself in this week. Next matchup, Dan versus Fat. Both 0-1. Projections are pretty close. We're going to go with Fat. Scott's got Dak Prescott at the Giants, DeAndre Swift at Detroit, Travis Etienne at Cincinnati, Amon-Ra St. Brown at Chicago, Drake London is questionable at Minnesota, Jake Ferguson versus the Giants, JSN at Pittsburgh, Devonta Smith at Kansas City, Rams D at Tennessee. Fat's got Michael Penix, that's with an X, not an S, you sickos, Jr. at Minnesota, Chuba Hubbard at Arizona, David Montgomery versus Chicago, Puka Nacua at Tennessee. My favorite name to say. I'll say it. Terry McLaurin at Green Bay, Tyler Warren versus Denver, and my boy Malik Neighbors at Dallas. And in the second flex, got another Giant, Tyrone Tracy Jr. at Dallas. Texans defense versus Tampa Bay. I think the matchups might be a little bit better for Fat, so that's why we picked him. Somebody's going to get a win out of that matchup. Next matchup, we got Scott versus Marshall. Scott's 1-0. Had a nice first week. Marshall is 0-1. Had a rough first week. And I'm going to go with Scott. You know, he just had a great week, so let's see what happens. He's got Jaden Daniels at Green Bay, Jahmyr Gibbs versus Chicago, James Cook at the Jets, Marvin Harrison Jr. versus Carolina, Jacoby Myers versus the Chargers, Travis Kelce versus Philly, Travis Hunter at Cincinnati, Hunter Henry at Miami, Steelers defense at versus Seattle. Marshall, he's got Baker Mayfield at Houston, Chase Brown versus Jacksonville, Travion Henderson versus Miami, Nico Collins versus Tampa Bay, Mike Evans at Houston, TJ Hawkinson versus Atlanta, George Pickens versus the Giants, J.K. Dobbins at Indy, and Buccaneers D at Houston. Like I said, Matt, the projections are pretty close, 133 to 126 in favor of Scott. Like I said, Scott had a good first week, so we're going to stick with him, until we see otherwise. Next matchup, another matchup of two losers, JT 0-1, Jordan 0-1. JT is favored to win 140 to 132, which means this is our crying cat face emoji upset of the week. We're going with Jordan. JT's got Lamar Jackson versus Cleveland, Josh Jacobs versus Washington, Alvin Kamara versus the Niners, CeeDee Lamb versus the Giants, Zay Flowers versus Cleveland, Jonnu Smith versus Seattle, Calvin Ridley versus the Rams, Keon Coleman at the Jets, Ravens D versus Cleveland. Jordan has got Joe Burrow I mentioned last time, I think he was like the only quarterback in the first like 6 or 7 rounds that got drafted that didn't put up 20 points. He's playing Jacksonville. I think he's going to make up for that this week. Saquon Barkley at Kansas City. Breece Hall versus Buffalo. Beautiful Breece Hall. Love Breece Hall. A.J. Brown at Kansas City. Also looking for a bounce-back game. I think Kansas City has some good cornerbacks, so probably going to be tough. I don't know. What do I know? Ladd McConkey at Las Vegas. Mark Andrews. I think he scored 1.5 points week 1, and the Ravens scored 40 points, 41 points. I don't know. I don't know. More power to him. Hope it works out for Mark Andrews this week. Needs to, since I just picked him. Hollywood Brown is going to be playing Philly. He had 16 targets last week, led the league, so we'll see what happens there. Flexing Quentin Johnson, the waiver wire darling of the week. He was the top guy selected, had 2 touchdowns. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. And then Packers defense versus Washington. We've already picked Jordan. He's our upset of the week, baby. Our next matchup, Brent versus Trent. It's the Rent Bowl, baby, the annual classic. Brent is actually projected to lose 136 to 144. Reviewing the lineups, I think it's pretty close, but I'm going to go with Trent. This might be, has Trent won the Rent Bowl before? I don't know. I'm going to say no, just because I made him the lock of the week. So this will be the first time ever. Brent, he's got Patrick Mahomes versus Philly, Christian McCaffrey at New Orleans, Jonathan Taylor versus Denver, T. Higgins versus Jacksonville, Garrett Wilson versus Buffalo, David Njoku at Baltimore, Jalen Waddle, questionable versus New England, Michael Pittman Jr. versus Denver, Vikings D versus Atlanta. Trent, we got Jalen Hurts, Mr. Tush Push, world champion, versus, he's at Kansas City. They just beat him real bad in the Super Bowl, so let's see if they do that again. Kansas City did not look good in week 1 either. Not great. Aaron Jones Sr. versus Atlanta, Jalen Warren versus Seattle, Justin Jefferson, Mr. Jets versus Atlanta, Brian Thomas Jr. at Cincinnati, Trey McBride versus Carolina. Last time he was here, he said we fucking suck, but they lost, so whatever. Fuck you, Trey McBride. DK Metcalf in the flex versus Seattle, Jerry Jeudy in the second flex at Baltimore, Seahawks D at Pittsburgh. How do you guys feel about that second flex? Drop a message in the Discord. Let us know. We don't care. It's not going to change anything, but, just curious. I already said I picked Trent. He's the lock of the week. Yep. Last matchup, Frank, Alex. Frank is 1-0. Alex is 0-1. And we're going to go with Frank. Frank's to start the season 2-0. Alex is going to be 0-2, and he's going to wonder why he drafted 3 wide receivers and 4 quarterbacks. Even though he did drop a couple, Alex is down to 2 quarterbacks now. 2 quarterbacks and I believe 4 wide receivers. So progress in the making. Frank has got Kyler Murray versus Carolina, Bijan Robinson at Minnesota, Kyron Williams at Tennessee, Devontae Adams at Tennessee, Rome Odunze at Detroit, Sam Laporta versus Chicago, Tony Pollard versus the Rams, Ramondre Stevenson at Miami, Broncos D at Indy. On Alex's side, he's got Justin Fields in the starting lineup versus Buffalo. He just had like 30 points. Derrick Henry versus Cleveland, James Conner versus Carolina, Jameson Williams versus Chicago, DJ Moore at Detroit, Brock Bowers questionable playing the Chargers. By the way, that's a Monday night game at 10 p.m. Who the heck's going to stay up for that? Emeka Egbuka at Houston, JCM, or as everybody knows him, Bill. He's made Alex's starting lineup. He's at Green Bay. And the Lions D versus Chicago. Bill is in the starting lineup because Seattle did something weird with Ken Walker week 1. They split the backfield and looked like maybe Charbonnet might be taking over the field. I don't know. Whoever's got Charbonnet must be feeling pretty good right now, though. We're going with Frank. 2-0, baby. Start that season. That's it. That's week 2 matchups and predictions. Probably we will be back for the recap. Maybe, we'll see. Before I go, the Chili's free rib hack. It's real. So you can go in, you can order a full rack of ribs with 2 sides. It's like fries and mac and cheese. I believe the total is $26.99. Now, they have a choose 3 option, and one of the options is a half rack of ribs. Now, I saw this on TikTok. I forgot all about it. And then I took my family to Chili's because Chili's is fucking awesome. Got some egg rolls. And I was looking at the choose 3 and I was like, is this real? So I asked the lady, can you choose the same thing more than once? And she said, yes. So that means you can order 3 half racks of ribs, get 1.5 racks of ribs for $26.99, which is the same price as a full rack of ribs. Hence, free half rack of ribs. Anyone that says that's not free, they don't know math and they broke. But you should go check that out because it was splendid. I'm not, full disclosure, we only did the full rack of ribs because my wife wanted some chicken tendies. But you can do it. I know you could do it because I was there and I saw it. That's it for me, guys. We'll be back maybe for matchups, not matchups, recap, week 2 recap, maybe. Love y'all. Madden curse. We out.